move on then and connect with Sanjiv Bhasin, who's joining in as always. And Sanjiv, let's get in a sense from you as to what you made of yesterday's two listings then. You had an Aadhar housing and it was rather tempered in terms of its overall listing. You had some interesting block deals and the other listing which actually saw quite a bit of fervor.
Good morning. Avan, on the new listings, I'll be difficult to comment because we were one of the investment bankers, merchant bankers, so there's a compliance issue there. But I'd like to say that I think 3.5 time price to book on Aadhar and HDFC, the mortgage company, available at less than 2 times. Everyone is chasing momentum, but you're missing the real value curve. I still think if you are looking for the next 2 years, then HDFC Bank is a no-brainer. However, if you are chasing momentum, then there is a slew of new offerings which are there. But this is the time to be little discerning. Add HDFC Bank to your portfolio. It will glow like anything by this Diwali.
Okay, fair enough. That's your endorsement there of an HDFC Bank. But in the meantime, we're also anticipating M&M's quarterly numbers today. What do you think that the company will deliver?
Well, their SUV market has been superb, and you've seen how their new launches have taken by storm. Their EV launches are doing extremely well. Numbers will be very strong, but I think it's all in the price. Most of the auto plays, I think, are fully priced to perfection, and we have to realize that now this momentum on the sales front cannot continue. So yes, diversification of assets will be key, but think that. I still think my top favorite there continues to be Maruti on the four-wheeler and Ashok Leland on the CV side. But M&M numbers may be in line with expectation. However, like I said, it's everything is in the price.
Okay. Let's get a view actually on the charts and find out what Kunal's take is on some of these candidates. Maruti, that Sanjeev just flagged off, and what's the view on the charts of an HDFC Bank, Kunal?
So Maruti is interesting because the stock which had been a huge underperformer from the auto pack, I think in 2021, 22, and I think first half of 23, I think it started to look very attractive now. In fact, from that 10,000 breakout, we've managed to change our stance to extremely bullish on the stock. It's performed very well. In fact, in the last 2-3 months, the stock has shown very less degree of volatility and strong signs of trends. We've seen the trends being very strong for Maruti, both in terms of volumes as well, and the stock breaking past about the 12,000 mark. Now I think it's inching towards the 13K levels as well in terms of a breakout. So I would believe that it's a sign of a very strong trend in the making for Maruti, and something which I think the stock had been underperforming. So I think that time-wise correction also could probably lead into a much more stronger uptrend for Maruti. So would be bullish on the stock, and I think I would probably now look out for targets in the range of 14.5 to 15,000 for Maruti over the next 6 to 9 months at least. HDFC Bank could be an interesting case because the stock which bottomed out in the mid of February at 1270, 1300 odd levels, 1350, 60 levels. I think from there on the stock had shown signs of recovery. It had come back towards its 200-day moving average, failed to cross over those levels, now retraced back again to that 1450 odd mark. But I believe that a second retest about that 200-day moving average could lead to a much more stronger change of trend for HDFC Bank. So one has to be patient over here and wait out for that breakout above 200 DMA, which I think is currently at 1520, 1525 mark.
Okay, the one big dhamaka earning today is going to be Mankind Pharma, and you got to look out for the price action on that stock. I mean, not to say that it's already not done well since its listing. This year alone, it's seen a growth of about almost 10.5%. But the numbers have been very, very strong. The domestic pharma growth has been a good 11%. They've seen outperformance in some of the chronic therapies as well. But I think the details in there about the fundraise that they've okayed, which is about a sizable 7,500 crore rupees. They're looking at fertility, women fertility that is, as one of their key focus areas. And they're looking to also acquire Bharat Serums and Vaccines. That is, of course, as per just reports, unconfirmed news at that. Sanjeev, what do you make of Mankind Pharma and whether the stock can be bought around these 2190 levels or not?
Well, I think in the last 1 year, this has been a revelation, purely on the back of some of the launches which have been well accepted, and their domestic business has actually been way ahead of most of the peers. I still think there is margin on the upside, given that it is enlarging its share. But Aisha, the stock has already run up a lot. So I would advise a sip, but look at the whole outperformance which has been there in the pharma sector. Sun, ICI, Cipla, Lupin. So we continue to be very bullish on Lupin, Sun, but our dark horse play here is Biocon. So I think Biocon is just on the verge of a fresh breakout. Technically also, we've been bullish from 240, 250. We think Biocon is a stock which can double. So 500 is our target on Biocon. On Mankind, it is a hold.
Okay, there you have it. That's the view coming in on some of those individual movers in trade. In the meantime,